Animated type, or animated text, as some people call it, is a big deal in 3D animation. Like if you just type in animated text cinema4d, you're going to get a lot of hits. Here's a couple of examples. I just randomly picked off of from a Google search. Stuff like this, which is capable, of course, in cinema4d. And then here's another one, just real quickly, just so you can see what is possible in cinema4d. Well, we're going to start off with something very, very simple, and I just want to show you the basic setup. And I just want you to know that you can go a long way with animated type and create some very, very interesting animations. This video will just show you the basic setup, how to get started, and how to set up the camera. Then whatever effects you want to apply and stuff is up to you, and so you can take this to a pretty high level once you get well versed in it. Anyway, so to make text, here's what you got to do. Click Create, Spline, then Text. The text object will appear in the Object Manager. In the Attributes tab, click on the Object tab, and here where it says Text, you can type in whatever word or words or letters you want. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have the word wow, and I want the letters separate so I can move each letter around by itself. So I'm just going to type in capital W here, okay? And I don't like the typeface here, so I'm going to hit the drop-down menu eventually, and it loads. And use the slider. There's my cat. He's joining in here. I'm going to use... Where's Futura? Here it is. Okay, that's a big chunky typeface. Okay, so there's my W, and so it says, W here. It says text up here. So I don't get confused, I'm going to call it W. Now I could again go to Create, Spline, Text, and do that all over again. Or I can just come to the Object Manager, and my cat is climbing onto my desk right now, coming dangerously close to my keyboard. But I can hover over the text I just created here, hold down the Command key or Control on PC, click, hold, and drag, and make a copy. So I made it a copy of a large W on top of a large W. I don't want a large W, I'm going to type in the word wow, so that's small o, and I'm going to, in my Object Manager, change the small o here. Okay, so now I got an O on top of my W. Go into my foreview and go into the front view, select the O, and I'll just move this over with the x-axis only. And let me adjust my camera so I can see the whole thing here as I make it. Okay, selecting O, hold down Command or Control, click, hold, drag, make a small W. My cat is like really, really close to... This is the one thing where I don't want a cat stepping on my keyboard. Alright, so I got a small W. Let me grab it on the keyboard. Whoops, and I got to change it to W there. Okay. There she is. And then I'm just going to make an exclamation point. So I'm going to, again, just click, hold Command or Control, click, hold, and drag, copy the small W. Going to name it with the exclamation point, change it to an exclamation point, deselect. Okay, there's my wow. And then if I was, you can make sure it's all kerned properly. Kerning is the horizontal space between letter forms. And that looks pretty good. Okay, let me go to my perspective view again. View, frame all, so I can see everything. Let me move my camera just a little tiny bit. Okay, so I want, some three-dimensionality to this. So the easiest way to do it is to extrude all these letter forms. So let me show you something here. And I'm going to modify this as I go, so I'm aware of what's going to happen here. In the drop-down menu with subdivision surfaces, choose the extrude. select all your letter forms, and click, hold, and drag and drop it into the extrude object. And this is what happens. Only the first letter form will be extruded. That's what you must select the extrude object, and then in the object tab there's a parameter called hierarchical, and you want to enable hierarchical, and then not all the letters are extruded. And I can select each of these letter forms and I can move them, and put them anywhere I want. But I want to show you like a little idiosyncrasy about it. Suppose I want multiple colors on this. So I'll make a material, and I'll say, well, I want one red, and I want O red, and I want W blue, for example. So I'll just make a simple red material here, and then I'll make another material, and I'll make it blue. This is old news to you guys. You know how to do this. Okay, so let me merrily drop red onto my W here, and everything changes, right? So like I can't, if I'm in this extrude object, I can't apply a color to just one letter form. Okay, so it's like it's all or none. So if I want multiple letters, I'm going to have to make some adjustments here and put a letter form in its own extrude object. Okay, so I just wanted you guys to be aware of that. Let me delete these. Okay, and when you get to this point, the first thing you should do, because we're gonna animate this, is set up your camera. And so get the shot, use your editor the camera you typically use all the time. Whoops, I didn't hold on the Option key. So get a shot that you like. Okay, say that's it. This is my stage. This is what I'm going to work with here. Okay, this is what I love. I love it. Okay, make a camera. Hit the drop-down menu for camera and just make a plain old camera. Right away, just so you don't get confused, rename it to render cam. Okay, so this is going to be different than our the camera that we use to move around and edit objects and all that stuff. Okay, render cam, let's enable it. Let me show you something here. Okay, so I got render cam, right? I made that. So if I go into cameras, and hover over use camera, what I have here is the default camera. See how it's outlined in blue? Okay, that means the default camera is being used right now. Render cam is blank right now. It's not being used. Now if I come over, so remember that. Now if I come over here to the object manager, and we've done this before, I believe, in this course, I can't remember. If I select this icon here, that means, now that it's white, that means I'm using the render cam to view this scene. So so that's white. I go into cameras, use camera, lo and behold, the render cam is checked and the default camera is no longer outlined in blue, it's grayed out. So I could either click this icon in white here to go from render cam, I'm using render cam, now I'm not using render cam. Or I can come into here, cameras, and I can go use camera. Right now default camera is being used. I can click on enable render cam. Now I'm using render cam and this is white. Okay, now here's a big deal, folks. Whenever you get this shot that you like and you got the render camera where you want it, here's what you have to do. You have to right click on render cam, go to cinema4d tags, and you're going to lock this down. So you want to choose protection. This is a huge deal. Otherwise, you will inevitably have your render cam and mistakenly move it and stuff, and you'll get extraordinarily frustrated. Okay, so I got render cam, I got the protection, and it's right now it's enabled. Okay, so if I hold down the option key and try to move, I can't because my render cam is selected. So what I got to do is disable it. Now I can move around merrily, and I can scroll in and out and all that other stuff, and I can move my objects and everything else. And then when I want to go back to my render, all I got to do is click this icon, and here I am back in my render cam view. So that's a big deal. I think I'm going to end this video here, and then we'll do the little bit of animation with the letter forms. So review this video, make sure that you get your shot composed the way you want it, and then do that stuff that I told you about the render cam. You know, add this protection tag, and as repeat to add a protection tag to your render cam, right click, choose cinema4d tags, whoops, and then choose protection. So get that set up, and then I'll see you in the next video.